Hey guys, welcome to another Hearts of Iron 4 modding tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to make a very somewhat simple election event for your democracy. Now this mod's going to go a little differently because normally what I would do is I would type the code along with you, but that is I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the code, and then I am just going to explain it, and then you can pretty much copy it and modify it yourself. So, you know, why sit here watching type code? So, here we go, without further ado. Notepad+. I really highly recommend you get this program. You can do this with normal Notepad, but it's not good. It's not good. Notepad+, it's superior in every way possible. Get it, I'm telling you, it'll make your life a lot easier if you get this. Just by this. See this little feature here? See? Look. See where this is? See how it's red? You click on that, and then see, I messed up already. So you click on that, and then that's where it ends. So that's super helpful, because there's times where you will forget to put that there, and then it'll be like, this will be gone if we get that, and then it'll end here where it should have ended before. So get Notepad+, it's super easy. Now you're going to want to create some files for this. So what we want to do is you want to go into your mod folder, of course. We're working with Hundland today, which is my little mod I created. So go to your mod, events, and then you're going to want to create a simple text document with your name on it. And it's got to be a certain format. It's got to be UTF-8 BOM. I don't know what the BOM stands for, I forget, but it's got to be that file type. It's very simple, you know, just hit save and, you know, just save it as that. You want to need an on actions folder. So that would be your mod, common, on underscore actions, and then a 00 underscore on underscore actions text. And it's got to be the same format. Next we're going to need is your localization. So again, your mod localization, and you're going to need events 1 English, and then parties 1 English, or French, or German, or whatever language your mod's going to be in. And then if you this is optional, you know, but if you want to get fancy with it, you need your mod interface, and then you need eventpictures.gfx, as if you want like custom images, and then finally your main country folder. So your mod, history, country, and then obviously your country. As you know, I would hope you've gotten that far in the tutorials. So, and before we continue, I want to give a big shout out to the Hearts of Iron 4 modding community on Reddit. They are very helpful, you know, give great advice. They helped me with this a lot. So check them out. If you got any problems, they'll be happy to help you. Now, enough stalling, let's get into this. So, your history folder, which is, you know, your identified, your code, and the name of your country. Now, this is important. I didn't think this was important, but this is actually important. For your last election, you actually have to sync it up with how your election frequency is. So as you can see, my election frequency is 36 months, which is 3 years. So every 3 years there's going to be an election. Now, originally I had this at 1935 January 1st, which is, I don't know why, but the game does not like that. So you just gotta throw in like just a random month and a random day. So as you can see, we got November 8th, which is actually taken directly from the US code. Now, there's no shame in taking code that's already in the game and then just copying and pasting it and then just modifying it, because it's ridiculous how complex some of this could be, And it's also, you know, good building, because how are you going to know what these, you know, modifiers are and like what they do? So anyway, this is important. Make sure your last election syncs up with your election frequency. Also, of course, you're going to want to have elections allowed, and you want to be, I mean, I guess you could have an election in a communist and fascist ruling party. I guess you could do that, but I never tried it. So, in your events folder, you have, of course, I make it big, nice and neat, Hundland events. Always leave comments, I'm telling you. You know, people scoff at comments like, oh, I don't need coffins. I don't need comments, I can just remember everything. Highly recommend you add comments everywhere. That's just basic programming 101. So as you can see here, we have the election of 1937, which is 1 year after the game starts, and is in sync with my election cycle. So as you can see, we have Grover Cleveland versus George Washington. Again, puns aside, here we are. So country event. This is what starts it. This is the main code line, as you can see before. As of when I pointed out, it ends right here. So each country event ends, and then another one starts. So it doesn't have like a whole big universal one that goes all the way down to the bottom of your file. So country event ID is Hundland. Actually, it's HUD1, because you can't do 4 letters, only 3 letters. So this is important. Remember this. HUD1. Your title is HUD1.2. Of course, you can name this anything, but it's highly recommended you name it what your country code. Namespace up here, I forgot to mention this. You gotta remember your namespace as well. So, like if this was Hund, with an N, everything else would have to be Hund as well. So HUD, it's all HUD. Everything is HUD. A description, a HUD 1D. Picture, you can just grab a generic photo. For this one I got just the normal US election generic one. Is triggered only? Yes, so it's only triggered when it's directly referenced. And now here's are the parameters that it will trigger in. It will trigger in the country that's tag is HUD, HUD, which is Hundland. Democracy is over 50%. So if the democracy popularity is over 50%, which it starts off at, it will trigger, it will clear and be like, alright, this is good. But if it falls under, that means that the player is either trying to have a fascist or a communist coup happen and take place. So if democracy gets too low, this event won't fire at all, because by that time the fascist or communist leader would have taken power by the time this happens. So I mean, it won't make much sense, to have a fascist nation, but then have it fire the event for a democracy. And here, next is we got the date. This is basically simple math again. If the date is greater than December 1st, 1937, that's when it will fire. So if it's before December 1st, it won't fire. If it's after December 1st, it will fire. And it will usually fire December 31st like it normally would. Now here you got your options. Your name, HUD 1A. That's the first one. This is the AI chance. So if you let Hundland play as an AI, they have an 80% chance of picking the first option. And then for the second option, also, this is the default. This is the current leader. So as you can see before, it was Grover Cleveland versus George Washington. Grover Cleveland is the incumbent president at the time. So picking Hundland.A is not going to do anything. It's just going to keep Grover Cleveland in power. The second one is when we actually put a new president in power. So as you can see, we have option, name, HUD 1B, and the AI chance factor for this is 20. However, if historical focus is on, it's set to 0. So if if you play with historical focuses on, the AI will always pick Grover Cleveland when this election event pops up for them. So when you have that, it's time to create the new president. So set party name, ideology, Democratic. The long name, I don't know what this is, I don't think it really matters. The long name is the HUD Republican Party name, and the normal name is just the HUD Republican. It's just the same. I don't know why there's a long name and a regular name, but it doesn't really matter. We'll get to this next part later. Create your country leader. So as you see, the name, like all this, the same as over here. Grover Cleveland, great country leader, all this over here. Put this over here. It's all the same. Name, George Washington. Description doesn't matter, it just never comes up unless you want it to. The picture is your leader's photo that you want. I always save it as TGA, which you can do, because I think it's DDS for the original, and that never really works for me. I always like the TGA, and I'm glad you can do that. And it expires at the end of the game, but as we make more election events, it won't really matter. I guess if you want to put terms on, like a term limit, you could change it to something shorter. Ideology, conservatism, liberalism, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't change the effect of the game. Traits, this is the traits like dislikes Germany, or dictator, or revolutionary. It's the trait that they would have under their name. I think Roosevelt also has the dislike Germany trait. I don't think he's in there now. I think he's in the US one. But this is pretty much it for the events. This is what the event is. Like I said, it's just copy and pasted from the US event. So you pick option A. Nothing happens, but you think this is what happens behind the scene. See, you pick option A, nothing happens, nothing gets changed, so Grover Cleveland stays in power. Pick option B, gets rid of Grover Cleveland, creates a new guy, and changes the name of the party, which I'm going to get to right now. So if we go here into our parties, one English, this is why you gotta get Notepad+, because you have all these tabs open, it's so much easier to move around. So as you can see, Hundland has 4 parties. The starting Democratic Party is called the Good Boys Party, the Fascist Party is the Neo Wolves Party, and the Communist Party is called the Broken Leash Party. Now the Republican Party is called the Fetch Party. So what happens if George Washington gets elected? Well, he's obviously not going to be part of the Good Boys Party, because then it's just a one-party system. So you make it so it's a two-party system. I think you can. I haven't tried this. I'm sure you can add more. Like, I'm pretty sure you can have those, like, another party in it, and then just add them into the event, so you have 3. But so what happens if you pick George Washington? The party changes to the Fetch Party. This is what this is over here. So as you can see, it just changes it to the Republican name, which is the Fetch Party. So that's how you change parties. And then for the events, it's the fun part. You're going to need your HUD. I keep saying HUD. It's HUD. HUD-1T, which is the title. And T for title, D for description. As you can see, that's what we have up here, the title and the description. Where are we? And then 0. I don't know what the 0 is for, but you gotta do it anyway. And then type out what the title is going to be. So you can see I have it as the election of, and then it'll get the year. And it'll always be 1937. I don't know why I just won't write 1937, but get year, I guess. And then the description is, well, the description in the box. So as the day of the presidential election has arrived, incumbent Grover Cleveland has been leading Hundland, blah 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 blah, that's from the blah 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 blah, all that fluff. And then here comes the decision part. So in the first option, HUD 1A, you have the choice over the Good Boys Party. Grover Cleveland hasn't let us down yet. And then for the second one, HUD.1b, the fetch party. We must stop the spread of collectivism. Because I think I made George Washington the one. Yeah, he's the one that wants to stop the communists and the fascists. I think Grover Cleveland's like the more isolationist one. I don't remember what it is though. But that's what's gonna appear when the event happens. And then you gotta go here. This is the most important part. To actually get it to fire when it should, you gotta go into your 00_on_actions text document. Now you can put this right at the top here on the new term elections. As you can see here, you got all of the US elections are here, and even the one for Spain when the Civil War kicks off. And then you have all the generic ones as well. So if they don't have their own custom one, this is what they get. They get one of these. These two files don't exist, so don't worry about these. But HUD1, 100 equals HUD1, this is what you want in the random events. This is how the game knows to be like, hey, we gotta fire this event, and we gotta do it. So that's how you fire the event. And then for event pictures.gfx, this is pretty much where where you got the like if you want like a special photo or something, like it would be GFX report or GFX news, like GFX report. HUD1, I think it would be something like that, and then the files that come after it in the event photos. So you can just add generic ones, doesn't really matter. But if you want to be fancy and have like photos of the people, like your leaders, you can do that. And that's how you create an election event. You have my permission to download the mod, download Hundland, and take a look at how I did all of this. And it's not really a big deal to me. So if you just want to steal my code, the code I already stole, if you want to steal it again, you can take that. Here we're just gonna test it. Here we go. I'm not supposed to show you this recording because I have the Sabaton DLC on, but let's just hope Paradox doesn't catch me. But I'm gonna show you how it'll all play out. Wow, it's gonna be 60 tomorrow. Do you see this? See like my weather? My little weather thing here? Don't worry about this. This is referencing the two election events that don't exist. That's just the game saying like, hey, there's no event for this. What do we do about it? And he's like, don't. It's alright. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Alright, single player. No, not new game. I forgot. I have a loaded game where I was testing this. Actually, that's in November. Here, let me do the autosave. That was. Okay, we had a little recording issue, but we should be good now. Italy claims slowly land. And as we wait, look at this nice focus tree that I made. Everyone was always bugging me like, hey, when's the focus tree coming up? But look, here's the focus tree. See it? Look how nice it is. Look, you got all the good stuff. You got your fascist tree over here, your communist tree over here, and your neutral tree, which, just whatever. It's just one thing. Just don't pick it. And then you got the democratic stuff over here, and then you got basic industry and stuff. It will be expanded though to be better. It's gonna be good. I like it. I really like the new graphics though for Together for Victory. Okay, here we are. January 1st, even though the next election is December. The wrong year and the wrong date, but that's just how the game is. Oh yeah, wait, the elections. Yeah, whatever. Election changed. Yeah, that's my year. Alright. Day of the presidential election has arrived. The incumbent Grover Cleveland has been leading Hundland with a steady hand. Threats from the neo-wolves and broken leash parties are threatening the young democracy, but none more so than the political climate of the world. George Washington, leader of the Fetch Party, says we should crush the communists and the fascists before they have time to attack Hundland, while Cleveland says staying out of human affairs and rebuilding the homeland will benefit all. The future of Hundland hangs in the balance. So, as you can see, because I have the debug mode on, very important, from last tutorial, debug mode, you see that the first one, nothing happens. Rover Cleveland will stay in power, but, click here, the Fetch Party, we must stop the spread of communism. The Democratic Party will now be called the Fetch Party, and George Washington becomes the leader of the Democratic Party. And he really dislikes Germany. Not the Soviet Union, but just Germany. Which doesn't make much sense, but I should probably fix that. But anyway, we click on this, the election's over, refresh this, and there you go, George Washington is now the new leader of Hundland. And he really doesn't like Germany. But next election will be 1941. So we got some time to prepare, and that's how you make an election. Again, you have my permission to just take my code, and just steal it. It's very, very complicated. This took me forever. Again, shout out to the guys on Reddit for helping me with this. They were super nice. And that's how you make an election event. And I'll see you next time.